Have you ever had a moment where everything just falls apart? A moment when you lose something you've worked so hard for, or maybe even the person you loved the most. We often find ourselves looking back, holding on so tightly to memories, hoping that somehow the past will just return. But this story is going to show you one hard, undeniable truth. Healing only begins when you move forward, even if it's just by one small step. In a quiet little town lived a young man named David. He was known everywhere as a hard worker, a man driven by bold ideas, and a restless, relentless ambition. In his mind, with enough effort, nothing was impossible. And with that powerful belief, he built a business from absolutely nothing. The journey was filled with sleepless nights, endless sacrifices, years of unwavering discipline. And for a while, it worked beautifully. His name started to carry weight in the community. His voice commanded respect. His future looked completely unstoppable. But as we all know, success can be fragile. Sometimes, one single storm is all it takes to destroy years of effort. A few wrong decisions led to a mountain of crushing debt. A partner he trusted deeply betrayed him. The opportunities that once seemed endless disappeared overnight. Slowly, piece by piece, everything he had built began to collapse around him. And this is life's first hard truth. Your effort is never, ever wasted, but it does not make you invincible. David's business failed, and the very same people who once celebrated his every move now whispered behind his back. The streets that once felt like his personal stage now felt like a courtroom filled with silent judgment. And that's when another painful truth hit him. The world rarely remembers how hard you tried. It only remembers where you fell. Yet, David couldn't let go. Every single morning, he would walk past his old office. The sign was gone, the doors were locked and barred, but he would just stand there, as if he was waiting for his old life to magically return. In his mind, the past was so much louder than the present. At night, he would scroll through old contracts and business plans, desperately searching for that one single mistake that ruined everything. But looking back never fixes what's forward. Reflection can teach you valuable lessons, but it cannot rescue you from your present. David was trapped. By day, he walked with his head held low, avoiding eye contact. By night, failure whispered cruel things to him. You renot. Anuga. You ruined everything. You'll never rise again. You see, failure doesn't just take what you've built, it tries to take who you are. He started avoiding people. Every friendly smile felt like pity. Every what if he replayed in his mind became another chain holding him down. And what if he's a prison? You can't change the past, but it keeps you stuck there, serving a life sentence of regret. One morning, while on his usual somber walk, David noticed an old shopkeeper sweeping the steps of his small store, calmly whistling a tune. Tea shop wasn't too big or fancy. The man clearly wasn't rich, but he was peaceful. And in that moment, David realized something profound. Peace isn't found in what you own, it's found in what you choose to carry. Still, days passed, and David kept walking in those same old circles, clinging to familiar places. Familiarity felt safe, but in reality, it was a cage he was building around himself. One day, a young boy who had seen him standing there day after day finally approached him. "Why do you always stand here?" he asked. David replied softly, his voice barely a whisper. "This place used to be mine." The boy looked at the empty building, then back at David, and said, "If it broke you, why do you keep standing in it?" Those simply honest words cut deeper than any criticism he had ever received. That night, David couldn't sleep. He finally understood the truth he had been so desperately avoiding. Broken places do not heal you. They only remind you of your scars. Healing demands movement. Healing demands honesty. The next day, David did something different. He visited an old neighbor, Mr. Ellis, a wise retired teacher. After listening quietly to David's entire story, the old man looked at him and said, "David, if a glass shatters in your hand, do you keep holding on to the pieces, or do you let go before it cuts you deeper?" David knew the answer. "Your business broke," the old man continued gently, "but you're still holding the pieces. Let them go, or you'll just keep bleeding." David whispered, the words filled with fear. But if I let go, what do I have left? The old man smiled warmly. You have yourself, and that's where rebuilding always begins. From that day on, David chose differently. He started taking new routes on his walks. He cleaned his desk at home. He gathered all the old papers, contracts, and plans that tied him to his pain, and he threw them away. Each small act hurt, like tearing off a bandage, but with each one, he felt a little lighter, because he was learning that letting go isn't a sign of weakness. It's making space for strength to grow. He started journaling. At first, only anger and regret filled the pages, but then, slowly, new words began to appear. I am still alive. I still have time. I can try again. He began helping others in small ways, offering quiet advice, lending a hand with simple tasks. His pride protested loudly at first, but he learned to ignore it, because rebirth begins with humility, not with applause, Monspa said. People in the town started to trust him again, not for his past success, but for his newfound understanding and empathy. He started to see opportunities that others missed, the kind you only see when you're looking up from the bottom. This time, he built slowly, wisely, with purpose, not just ambition. Years later, people no longer whispered about his fall. They spoke with admiration about his rise. And David finally understood the most important lesson of all. His story was never about failure. It was about resilience. Standing in his new, modest office one evening, he looked out the window at the town he had almost let defeat him, and he whispered to himself, this time without a single trace of doubt, I am not what I lost. I am what I chose to rebuild. The moral of this story is simple, but powerful. Don't stay where you were. Broken healing starts the moment you decide to walk forward. Remember that small steps change everything. Consistency will always beat fear in the long run. Humility builds stronger foundations than pride ever could. Failure teaches you it does not define you. Your scars are proof that you survived. They are not chains to hold you back. Your worth is so much greater than your losses. And most importantly, an ending is never the end. It's just the doorway to a new, stronger chapter. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, please share it with someone who might need to hear it. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories that inspire and empower. See you next time.